Hi everybody, it's Connie. Happy afternoon. It has been crazy and chaotic here in my house because we've been trying to get the cat ready to go to the vet, and that's always a trip. I got out of it though, and I'm staying home to talk to you. And so today I decided I wanted to do another scrapbooking page, but instead I wanted to talk about using hero paper, because hero paper is something that close to my heart calls the main paper it's kind of like the main image or the main busiest page of the paper pack. All the other papers are made to coordinate with that hero paper. So in this Seize the Day, for example, this is considered the hero paper. And then all of the others coordinate with that. I personally kind of think this is the hero paper. I think it's amazing. But anyway, that's kind of what they think of as the hero. So when they do the hero paper my problem with hero paper is that if you use it all over, it's just too much. It's just too busy. And I have a few examples of that for you where I did pages that were like, what was I thinking? And you might recognize this page because it's the one that I sent to the Hostess Club for March. And I just used a snippet of the hero paper in the top. And I like that because it doesn't overtake the entire layout. Okay, so I have a sneak peek for you of the new catalog. This one is the May-June catalog, which you should be getting in the mail within the next week or two. And one of the paper packs is called Aurora, and it's beautiful. It has really beautiful like night sky prints, kind of the peacock and evergreen colors. It's got like the little arrows, but it's got a couple of hero prints in it, and one of them is this mountain style print. And one of them is this Aurora scene print. And the problem with these prints is if you really put your pictures all over them, you don't see the prints anymore. Like if you really look at that Aurora print, it's got a tree line in the bottom with the clouds in the sky. And the problem is, once you put your pictures all over it, you can't exactly tell that that's what it is. Same way for kind of the mountain fading out. It's just a little hard to tell once you put all your pictures on it. So I wanted to show you a couple of layouts that I made. This one, I used that kind of night sky, what is that called? Like astronomy page. I don't know if that's what we're going to call it, but I really like how this turned out. And on the back of that one is the Aurora Borealis print, and that I used here. Now, one of the ways you can kind of see it here, and then and I did another strip of it here. You can't really tell what it is, but it does add to the page. I think it turned out pretty nice, and I think this will look really nice for some of my Disney pages. Now here is that same print with places for pictures, and you can still kind of see that the whole print, and you can still see that tree line at the bottom. And so I'm kind of hoping by the time I put my pictures on here that it'll still show up. The hero print part will still show up. These have nothing to do with hero prints, but I'll show you anyway, just as a couple of sneak peeks. they have The Mountains Are Calling. I am using that for the Matterhorn pictures that I took at Disney. Just so you know, I'm using that for my Disney pictures. There's a lot of Animal Kingdom pictures that would go really well on this paper pack. And I'll probably end up using this entire paper pack on that. Anyway, I think those are beautiful. I don't know if you can see the colors, but I gotta tell you, these colors together are gorgeous. So when I think of hero paper, I think of it kind of in a negative way in some ways, because what I have in my head is this. Hi, Kayla. So when I go to the scrapbook store, I am drawn to these realistic scenery type pictures and pages. And lately, Steve's been at the racetrack a lot, and I thought, oh, these would be so cool to use for some of his car pictures. He's got a lot of racetrack pictures. And I thought, oh, this would be so great. But in reality, it's a trap, because there's no good way to use this paper. I hate the words on it, so that's easy to cover up. Even if I use a strip of it in some way, you lose what it is. You can't always tell unless you use the majority of the paper, and then if you cover it up with pictures, you know, you lose it. So I'm bummed about this paper. And then this one is the same way. It's kind of a hero paper in that it's a big scene paper. And because I was doing race car style photos, I thought, oh, this is great. This is perfect. But in reality, this page is going to be very hard to make, because if I cut it into strips, you can't tell that that's tire tread anymore. And so you have to use it in a big chunk somehow. And then you have to put your pictures on top of it, which covers up what makes it look like a tire print. So these are the kind of papers that drive me crazy right here. And I remember they were really popular when scrapbooking was really new. And you can still get them now. A lot of photography style pictures. This is also a type of hero page where it has multiple sayings and images and lots of cute little coffee themed paper, images all over it. And the problem with using this paper is that no matter what, you're cutting off or closing off or covering up something that you like. So I could use it as a strip. I could cut out just a section. But whatever I do, if I put photos over it, it covers up really cool parts of the paper. And so I want to show you a couple. Those were not close to my heart. I want to show you a couple of close to my heart ones. This is really old. This set is called Chalk It Up. You may remember that from a few years ago. But basically, this is the hero paper. And it's just like that coffee print paper. It's got lots of images all over in all different colors. And then all the colors of the paper pack coordinate with the hero paper. So, it's got this really cool turquoise and this really cool kind of salmon-y colored print. And then the cardstock coordinates with it too. And so the hero is this, although in reality, I like this paper better. I like this paper better. But they go together, and you can see how they all go together. So that is what Close to My Heart calls a hero print. Another one that I pulled out that you might remember is this one. This one is called La Vie en Rose, and it was never, it's beautiful. It's like a realistic photograph of roses, right? And it's really pretty, and there's a lot of things you can do with it, and it makes it really special, but by itself with pictures on top, it's just too much. It's just too much. And so the papers that went with it were kind of bland. And, when you look at the paper pack, it was black and white that went with it so that you could tone it down just a little bit. And so that's another example. Now, I told you I was going to show you one that I thought I think I messed this up. I love this paper. I can't remember. I think Bo Bunny makes it. I didn't save that. But you can see it's a really busy paper to start with. And then even the coordinating papers are busy. So this is these are coordinating papers, and even those are busy. And I don't know why I didn't add cardstock to this, because it's craving a solid color. And if you were going to put pictures on this hero paper here, you would need something very dark or black and white or something not very busy, because it is just too much. And I made a lot of these using this paper pack, and all of the papers are busy, and the only kind of solid looking one is this blue and this kind of grid. Those are the only things that give your eye any real relief. It came with a stripe. It was a lot. And so you can see it's just too much. It's just too much. I don't know why I didn't add more black to it than that. It definitely screams for black. I'll probably put something. But by covering it all up, you miss the theme of the paper. Like, these will be covered up with photos, and it's kind of neat to see some of the paper. It's just, you don't want it to be overwhelming, right? So I hauled out a couple of scrapbooks just to show you some examples. So, sorry, Kayla. This is from 2006. Okay, but you can see this was a really busy paper, and I didn't help it by adding embellishments to it. And when I did add solid cardstock, see, I added this yellow in here. You can't even see it because it's just too much. It's just too much. What I did here helped a little bit. So this hero paper is very busy. It has a ton of colors, and I pulled out one of the colors to make an embellishment and the lettering. It says Roar, in case you can't see it. And then I matted the photo on that color. And then I put it with this more somber color green so that it kind of tones down the whole busy print. Does that make sense? Isn't that cute? I love that picture of my cat. And it's good timing since she's the one that we were just, wrestling with to get to the vet. That was fun. Okay. This is another example of a page that has like a big print on the back. It's a main print. It is a fish fossil. And I didn't want to cover that up. I thought it was really cool. So what I did instead was I used small photos around it and one large photo on top of it. And you gotta see that. Me holding an alligator. Gotta love it. Anyway, so I really like that you can still see that it's a fish skeleton, essentially. And I think it adds to the page. This whole thing was done in the Everglades, so I just thought it kind of went together. Here's an example of a 2-page layout. You may recognize this if you've been in the club for a while, because this was a club layout. But basically what I want to show you is that, okay, so here is that big hero print that's very busy. It's a map, and it has all the different colors, and then all the coordinating papers were coordinated with that map. So we had the gold, the black, the blue, there's some red, and purple. And so I used a whole sheet of that paper on here. I cut it here, part on this page, part on this page, but you can tell I used a whole sheet, but I covered the majority of it up with this giant photo collage because your eye needs a place to rest, but you can still tell that that's a map, and you can still tell that that's like a subway page or a travel page. The other thing that's nice is using the coordinating papers in a way that adds them in a small way without overtaking the whole page. So I like that. This is another one that I did. This is a very old set called Surf's Up. It's really old. But this hero paper right here, it's like aloha, tropical, and the minute consultants saw it and the minute I saw it, it was like, yes, this is cool, loving this paper. But when I tried to use it, it's just too much to use as a background. And so using it like here, like in an 8.5 by 11 with photos on the top and just using bits and pieces of it, sometimes you could cut out. Like here, I didn't care about the Surf's Up. I don't have any water pictures necessarily to use with this. So I would probably, those would be covered up with photos anyway. So I tried to pull out the parts that I thought would look nice with the pictures I would be likely to use with it, which would probably be my Florida pictures. So I tried to stick with the greenery parts that would show. All right. The next one I want to show you is this one. This is one of my all-time favorite, close to my heart paper packs called Cruisin'. And I think it was called Cruisin'. Anyway, it had a hero paper that was really, really cool of a map and stuff. But the problem was it's just too much when you used it all at once. So by taking a strip of each one of each of the patterns and putting them like this, and then you can use a whole photo here or a whole photo here, or I don't know if I have any photos over here to use, but if you just imagine, like, you could put your photograph here or here. I mean, it wouldn't have to be like exactly these four or whatever, but I think that this is a way to use a hero paper without it being too overwhelming. Again, going back, there was a hero paper. I was doing zoo pages, so here we are with all of these. It's a huge page of all these zoo animals, of lions and tigers and giraffes and stuff, and it was such a cool page, but the minute you put your pictures on top of it, it covered up exactly what the image was. Hi, Cheryl. So what I did instead was I cut out the giraffe out of it and used that like an embellishment on my page, and then just cut a sliver of that paper out to use it as an embellishment. Now, there's not much on this page, really. It's black, and it's got a couple of photo mats and a title. And other than that, it's that one page where I cut out the giraffe and cut out the corner and use that as an embellishment. So that is one way that you could use one of those papers like that, where you don't want to cover up the entire image with a photo. In this case, again, similar situation. It says destination Minnesota. Okay, so I basically used a solid background, and then this is an actual Minnesota map, and I cut out the letters out of the map, and I made sure that I got the areas that we actually visited while we were there. St. Paul, Minneapolis, downtown. We did all kinds of stuff on that visit. And so there's not much to this layout, but the letters really and a few photos, but I just thought it was a good way of using a hero paper without it having to be a background that I'm covering up. This is another one of the club layouts that I sent, and the hero paper is actually this paper right here. It's a little hard to see because what I did was I cut it as a strip along the side so it wouldn't be quite so busy, and then I made it into these kind of like flags with the chevron bottoms. So it's a simple, very basic layout, but the hero paper I just used in a small sliver on each page so that it wouldn't overtake everything. Again, same way with this one. I love this bird paper. I know it's not everybody's taste, but I absolutely fell in love with it and I wanted to use it. So I made a 2-page layout using a sliver of it. I should have made it going the other direction though. I don't know why I did it the way I did. And then I made stripes of the patterns that coordinated with it. You can see there's like the brown, the off-white, the green, and the burgundy kind of color, and that's what I used in my layout so that the hero paper still stands out, but I have plenty of room to put my pictures in the middle without covering it up. So when you flip through my album, you still get to see the coolness of the paper. I know it's all about the photos and all of that, but for me, some of it is about your artwork, your expression, your whatever. And if all you want to do is plunk pictures on a page, there's nothing wrong with that. Just plunk pictures on a page. But it's really fun to add to it and make it special. I really loved the sunflower paper, but it was super busy. It's got sunflowers and lines and stuff all over. And the minute you start putting photos on top of it, you can't even hardly tell what it is anymore. So I cut out one side and then used some of the busy paper to mat this. It's a little hard to see, but there is a very busy paper behind this brown cardstock. I love this message too. You never realize how boring your life is until someone asks what you like to do for fun. I was thinking, that's totally me, because I hardly ever tell people what I do in my time off, because all I do is craft and I play pinball and, I'm very boring. So, okay. And then this one's similar to the sunflower. Look at the paper. It's so cool. It's got the greenery. It's got a whole bottom border of birdhouses and birds and all kinds of stuff. And if you really put that page as your background, you put pictures on and you lose so much of it. So by cutting out a sliver of it and putting my decorations on the more blank area, I have plenty of room here for at least 2 or 3 pictures, and I can mat them in a coordinating color. You can see I picked that, there's a turquoise of here, and then we did the turquoise around here. So I think that one's really cool. I think that one's a club scrap. Okay, and then one more. This is a hero paper from a long time ago, and what makes it drew my eye because it's just beautiful. It's kind of hard to see with my glare, sorry. But, it's got this swoop and the swirls and the snowflakes printed on it. It's a whole border all the way around, 2-page, like a big thing around the whole thing. But the problem is it leaves very little room for pictures because you're gonna have to cover up your print. So I was limited in the number of photos that I could put on here. I added some snowflakes to make it stand out just a little bit more, and then tried to add pictures that kind of went with the theme. But I kind of wish like, I don't know. I kind of wish I could have made my pictures smaller and had more of them. It's just this paper doesn't allow it. So this is why the hero paper thing is something I wanted to talk about today. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. I have tons and tons of layouts I can show if you ever decide that you want to see more. You just let me know. And remember, this is the sneak peek that starts in May. It's the Aurora. And then the Seize the Day is current right now. So, ta-da. All right, that's all I have to show you, and I hope that you like it, and if you have other ideas for me, let me know. Bye, guys.